Hey guys, it's Ox here and welcome back to my channel. And yes, we are back with yet another Switch review from Invokeys. So we already reviewed two of their switches, the Matcha Lattes and the Blueberry tactile switches. Both are really good, so I'm expecting the same thing about the switches that we have today, the Black Sesame. So this is a linear switch from Invokeys, and they said that this is the best out-of-the-box switches as it utilizes the latest lubrication process where the stems are lubed by hand and springs are donut dipped and the leaf contacts are greased by machine, which is really impressive. So let's see how they perform. But first, a quick message to our channel sponsor PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all your PCB prototyping needs, and let me tell you that they're having a promo this December. All you have to do is to add the keyword Christmas 2022 and the other special request page on the instant code page. During the event, each person has 3 chances for a free prototype if your design is based around Christmas theme. There's also a discount up to $20 each time. To learn more about this, head over now to pcbway.com, links in the description. So the switches comes in with a long pole palm stems for that sweet bottom out, paired with a 20mm 63-gram springs. And if you have noticed, there is a trend in how Invokeys on naming the switches. It's all about desserts, so let's see what names would they come up with on their next switches. By the way, the switches was sent for review by Invokeys, but I wasn't paid to make the video, and Invokeys didn't see the final script. So of course, I'll give you guys my unbiased and honest opinion on their Black Sesame switches. So in today's video, it's going to be the usual, but there will be no stock versus lube comparison, as again, it comes in pre-factory lube, so only a sound test comparison versus other tactile switches and a short material breakdown. If you all want to hear my thoughts and opinion about the switches, please do stick around at the end of the sound test, or please check the timestamps. And speaking of sound test, let's do a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience will vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it will sound and feel different depending on your board. We of course be using our Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, a PCB to plate foam, and no case foam. The switches was pre-factory lubed, the keycast that was used was a GMK set, and no post-edit for the sound. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test for the Invokeys Black Sesame switches. So that was a sound test on the Black Sesame Switches. Please let me know on what you think about them on my comment section down below. Let's have some quick discussions. Before we talk about my own thoughts and opinion, you already know what's next. Let's break down the materials that was used on the Switch. As you can see, these are a 5-pin switch and is using an MX style housing with a dust-proof stem. So we have polycarbonates on the top housing, nylon on the bottom housing, and of course a long pole palm stem. And lastly, the springs that comes in 20mm in length and a 63-gram bottom out force. And that was a material breakdown on the Black Sesame Switches, and if you made it up to this point of the video, I'd like to say thank you for staying, and again, reminding you that the sound and experience will vary depending on your keyboard build. Finally, let's now talk about my thoughts on the feel. We need to address on how good it is out of the box. Now, to be fair, they only have a lube option for the switches and it goes around $45.48. The stem was lubricated by hand and that's what they claim. But I can say that it is really consistent. I've tried some switches that were pre-factory lubed and no one comes close to this, like I swear. I can say that the lube price tag is really worth it. The leaf contacts with grease was just the right amount, donut dip springs was enough, as well as the stems was spot on. Granted that it would still vary depending on the batches that you may get, but from what I heard, Invokeys manually QCs the switches, so props to them for really delivering what they listed and promised on the website. Now for the bottom out, it was listed as 63 gram, and you know me, 63 grams is my sweet spot for linears. Although some may find it heavy, but I promise you, once you get used to it, the bottom out is really satisfying, paired with a 20mm long springs, so it has that snappier return. The bottom out wasn't that harsh as it is softened due to the thick dust-proof stem. Now, in terms of a feel difference with their Matcha switches, it's not really a night and day difference, as the Matchas got a 62 gram bottom out force and these have a 63 gram bottom out force. But I don't know, I find this a bit more heavier. But yeah, feel wise, this really feels solid out of the box. Now let's talk about my thoughts on the sound. So it has that deep sound profile, like really deep linear switches. This one thocks hard. Kidding aside, although it has that deep sound profile, it doesn't sound like a muted linear switch. And to be honest, I wasn't really a fan at first because I really like clacky switches, but while using it for days, I kinda like starting to like the sound that it brings out on my Vega, but again, I still prefer clacky switches. But if you want that creamy deep sound profile, I'd really recommend getting this than the Matcha switches that I have. So overall, I just really wish that they could have offered this in packs of 10, but I can say that if you really like deep sounding switches that has a nice weight to it, I really recommend checking out the switches or maybe add it to your list. These are a very smooth switches out of the box and they sound really good out of the box. I'm just kind of 50-50 to recommend this to beginners as there are a lot of budget switches out there right now, but I can say that the price tag on these are really worth it and they do justice on the lube. If you are already in the hobby for quite some time, again, you may want to check this out. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review on the Black Sesame Switches by Invokeys, and I do hope that you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button as it helps out my channel a lot. And I just want to thank you guys for the overwhelming support on my channel as we have finally hit 3K subs. So this really means a lot to me right now, so thank you so much for the support. And what's next? Well, we'll be reviewing a budget entry TKO and some new Akko switches and Hippo maker switches. So please watch out for that and a giveaway soon on my Instagram, so check out my links on the description. Again, don't forget to hit the like button. share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next sound test. Peace.